it's time to sit back and relax with your favorite drink. And listen. I work on an oil rig in the Arabian Sea. There's something evil down there. By Augustus Cordoba. Part 1. Well, if you're hearing this, it means I made it out alive. Now, my story isn't some bedtime fable. It's raw, ugly, soaked in salt water and blood. I'll tell it the way it was meant to be told, so you can feel it burning through the eyes of someone who lived it. Call it a warning. Oh, you'll probably never find yourself in my shoes, but then again, fate is a cruel bastard. My name's Charles, and let's just say I'm good at what I do. And what I do is keep the lifelines of oil moving through steel arteries. Right now, my gig's on a pipeline deep in the Arabian Sea, down at the seabed off the coast of Oman. Just past midday topside, but here, no sunlight, no warmth, just the sick yellow beam of my flashlight slicing through the black. A few bubbles break free from my mask, spiraling toward a surface that I can't see. I move slow, kicking my flippers, drifting through the gloom. Well, down here I'm one of 3 divers, but the others are ghosts in the water right now, out of sight, out of reach. My beam locks onto the pipeline, a massive steel vein running into our habitat, an artificial cage of air bolted to the ocean floor, stretching upward to safety, and downward into nowhere. I aim my light down the pipe's length, and all I see is corroded metal disappearing into the abyss. I lower the beam further, pushing it into the void until it fades into nothing but my own flippers, kicking above the same black hole. That's when the cold hits me, not from the water, but from knowing what's down there. At the point where this vertical pipe kisses the horizontal one, a monster awaits. A sprawling metal skeleton of a structure, designed to anchor temporary installations in place. I can't see it now, but I know it's there, waiting. Well, they tell stories about this place. Sea legends about malevolent spirits that stalk divers. Tricksters, shapeshifters. They call them the water jinn. They'll warp your vision, twist reality until you're lost in their maze, and then, depending on their mood, they either let you crawl away, or they swallow you whole. Something flashes in the corner of my vision. An instinct takes over. I spin hard, like cutting across the water, a sharp breath fogging my mask. The beam catches only a school of tiny silverfish, glittering as they scatter past. Well, my pulse slows, but only a little, because down here, anything could be watching. Goddamn idiot, Charles, I mutter into my mask, my voice muffled by rubber and water. I kick upward, following the pipe toward the habitat's air pocket. The shimmer of the waterline ripples above me, inching closer. Flashes of color move beyond it, my crewmates. I break the surface with a splash, spit out the mouthpiece, shove my mask up and shake my hair free of the seawater. Hauling myself onto the narrow platform that rings the inside of the habitat, I take in the scene. A battered bench-light rig runs the whole circumference. Now, as I've said before, 3 of us work this stretch. Azif and Imran are already here, legs dangling over the edge, flippers slicing idly through the water below. I let out a low grunt and drop onto the bench beside them, my own fins disappearing back into the cold. Well, it's a strange little pocket of life down here, a physics trick. We're far below the surface, trapped in steel walls and stale air, and yet we breathe. The habitat's a steel box, maybe 4 meters wide and 3 high. The air tastes like damp and metallic, but it keeps us alive. From the center pool between us, the pipe juts upward into the habitat's heavy air, its mouth sealed with a massive rubber plug. Before our shift ends, we'll have to deflate it. That plug keeps thousands of gallons of crude from spilling into the Gulf. The habitat lets us do it without turning the sea into a slick graveyard. The pipe runs straight down into the abyss, then splits into 2 horizontal arms crawling across the seafloor, one north toward the Omani coast and the other south. It's just wide enough for a man to worm his way inside for emergency repairs, not that any sane one would want to. I wipe salt from my face while Asif wrestles a long black cable onto the depressurizer, Its far end disappears into the pipe, hooked to the plug. "Hey, see any spirits down there today, Charles?" Asif asks as he locks the seal. Imran snorts, scratching his beard, the sound bouncing around the metal walls. I give him a dry smile. No spirits, Asif. Just rust and shadows. Still, the thought of that pipe vanishing into black water makes my skin crawl. I can't explain it, I just don't like it. About you, I ask, glancing at Imran. Sintian al-Bahar yet? I waggle my fingers in front of him, mocking, but Imran doesn't flinch. You laugh, Charles, but this sea, this ancient sea, if we're ever going to meet one, it'll be here. He claps his hands, sending a spray of droplets into the pool at our feet. The shimmering blue doorway to the sea below, the sea above, and the endless ocean pressing in on all sides. "And I'll tell you something else," he goes on, jabbing a finger in the air. "I saw something." "Oh, here we go," Asif mutters, rolling his eyes. "No, listen." Imran leans forward then, his eyes narrowing. "Just hear me out. About an hour ago, I was swimming near the pipe. Got a little distracted. A fish caught my eye." Asif shakes his head and shoots me a glance. "Oh, you should have seen it, Asif. Big golden thing, beautiful. I wanted a closer look, so I left the pipe, just for a minute. Followed it until it got spooked and disappeared into the blue. Turned back toward the pipe and... nothing. Just the abyss. No bearings, no landmarks, just alone. And for the first time in a long time, I felt fear." Well, we say nothing at this point, just letting him talk. "That's when I saw it," Imran says, almost bouncing on the narrow metal ledge we're perched on. "Easy," I growl, feeling the platform tremble under me. Asif flips a switch on the depressurizer and it rumbles to life. "Out there, far in the dark, I saw shapes," Imran says. "3 of them, figures in the deep, like shadows in the gloom." "Oh, you should write poetry," Asif snorts, throwing another switch. Well, against my better judgment, I am hooked now. What kind of shapes? "Oh, not solid. Like smoke. No, thicker. Mist. Dense, but with eyes. Eyes that flickered pale like sunlight breaking through waves. Oh, you had to catch them just right to see them. I only did for a second or two, and then they were gone." "How'd you find your way back to the pipe?" I ask. "Did the spirits guide you?" Asif chuckles under his breath at this. "No, used the compass," Imran admits. "But that's not the point. I saw something. I know I did." "I thought the stories said they were dangerous," Asif says. "Pranksters, cruel. They bang on the pipes, moan from the inside, make you think something's in there, ready to tear its way out." "Maybe that's why they came to me," Imran says quietly, his eyes fixed on the pipe between us. "Maybe they weren't here to scare me. Maybe..." He pauses, a shadow passing over his expression. "Maybe they were warning us. Maybe there really is something in that pipe." Asif snorts again. "Don't be ridiculous." "Maybe once the plug's deflated," Imran says quietly, "the beast will come tearing out. And then what? Where would we go? We're sealed in this tin can at the bottom of the ocean, nowhere to run." His words hung in the air like a cold current. The only sound is the slow, steady hiss of the depressurization machine bleeding the plug in the pipe. Asif shakes his head. "Don't start with the crap. Utter nonsense." All I'm saying," Imran finishes with a shrug, "is that maybe the spirits aren't the enemy. You don't believe, I know, but they're not all killers. The Jinn of Bahar, mischievous, sure, but not cruel. Not always." Asif grunts, waving him off. Imran turns to me then, looking for backup, and I just laugh. "Enough, man. We've got work to do. Unless you want to say here, running to the boss again." That name earns a groan from all of us, bouncing off the steel walls. "I can't stand that guy," Azif says, throwing it out like a curse, and we all chuckle. Zahir is a colleague, technically, though we almost never share a shift. Doesn't matter, his projects always seem to overlap with ours, so he's never far enough away. Thick red hair, ragged excuse for a beard, and a personality as dry as the sand topside. A busybody, teacher's pet. Kind of man who clocks unpaid overtime like it's a calling, and still gets passed over for promotion because charisma skipped him entirely. Maybe we prank him before we go topside, Azif suggests as the machine kicks up a gear, the hissing sound growing louder. What kind of prank? Imran asks. I don't know. Head over to his station, bang on the pipes at Azra 1, give him a good scare before his shift's over. Well, as much as I'd enjoy that, I say. It's a 1.5 kilometer swim, and we'd never fool him with a ghost story. He doesn't believe in anything. No imagination to prey on. True, Azif concedes, turning back to the machine. He gives it a light smack and it hums into the final stretch. The plug loosens, pressure bleeding away until there's just enough clearance, opening a dark, yawning path straight down into the pipe. The plan was simple. Reach in, haul out the deflated plug, check for leaks or damage, see if it needed replacing. Should have been routine. Should have been safe. But the pipe at this time of day was supposed to be packed with oil. But it wasn't. What little oil was inside was a fraction of what we'd been told, and that's when everything went wrong. The nightmare unfolded in seconds, too fast to react, too fast to understand, till it was already killing me. The positive pressure inside the habitat, the thin bubble of air keeping us alive, exploded into the pipe, driving the oil down with a force that was inhuman, monstrous. The sudden shift whipped air and seawater into a blinding vortex, a whirlpool of chaos and violence. In an instant, the world vanished in a rush of black. My body slammed into the habitat wall, pain detonating in my shoulder as bone cracked against cold steel. I tried to scream, but all I spat was foam and bubbles. I had no idea which way was up. The safety of the habitat was gone, ripped away from us. Water tore into my mouth, my nose, my eyes, flooding every sense. Then the suction took me. I was yanked brutally into the pipe. The metal walls closed around me like the jaws of some mechanical predator, dragging me head first at breakneck speed through the mix of oil and seawater. Blood hammered in my skull as my arms and legs were smashed again and again against the steel. My body twisted, battered, and all there was darkness and terror. The pipe leveled out and my head hit hard. The well behind my clenched eyelids burst red, and then blinding white. A high-piercing ring filled my ears, colliding with the roar of the rushing water. I let out a guttural, involuntary howl of pain. Oil and seawater poured into my throat, into my lungs. I swallowed a little, breathed in the rest, drowning and choking as the current hurled me along the sea floor. God, I am going to die. That single thought looped endlessly in my mind. I'm going to die. This is it. And for the briefest moment, the terror broke, replaced by an eerie calm. The roar of the water never faded, but my fear bled into something else, almost a surrender. My mind drifted to a beach from my childhood, sun on my face, my family's laughter in the air. I braced for the last breath I would ever take. But instead of releasing bubbles, I choked, I coughed, I spluttered. Well, the fight wasn't over yet. I coughed hard, choking, hacking, my throat raw. The taste hits me first, sharp and oily. And then the realization slams in. Air. I found air. I drag in a jagged breath, gagging, trying to cover my mouth, but my hand smashes into the metal wall of the pipe. My right wrist screams with white-hot pain, a burst of agony ripping up my arm. Feels broken, maybe is broken. Air. I cling to the thought. but the mental image of a warm beach vanishes like smoke, swallowed by the panic flooding back in, fast and suffocating, the same way the water had been poured into this cursed pipe. Most of my head's still underwater, but my eyes, nose, and mouth are clear. I lift my head. My ears reach the surface and I can hear. But that presses my forehead against the freezing steel. I freeze, and the reality crashes down on me. I'm in the pipe. Part 2. Oh, no, I rasp, coughing hard enough to vomit up water mixed with a foul, oily tang. No, no, no. The words twist into a scream. I pound my good fist into the metal, the sound dull in the suffocating dark. Help! Please! My voice cracks. Please, someone. Air. Help. Panic grips me like a vice. Well, there's no escape, no turning, no one to hear. The water swirls against my face, slapping at my cheeks. My breath comes fast, shallow, dangerous. You're not drowning. You're not drowning. I repeat it in my head over and over. You're not drowning. You have air. You can breathe. Just breathe. I force my legs to move. One flipper hits the roof of the pipe. I try rolling onto my side, but it's a slow, grinding process. Every shift is met with sharp pain, my shoulder and neck sending lightning bolts down my spine. Lifting my head is torture, but if I lower it, my face is back under the water. Right. Breathe first. That's all that matters. In, out, deep, steady breaths, each one dragged through gritted teeth. Oh, my heart's hammering. My hands fumble over my body, searching for my gear. Nothing. Only one flipper left. The other must have been ripped away when the pipe sucked me in. My mask, my tank, gone. Oh, God. It comes out as a mere whimper. Logic be damned, I pound on the steel again. Hello? I yell into the black void. Hello? Charles. Charles. The voice ricochets through the darkness behind me, somewhere past my feet. I lift my head, straining to see, but there's nothing but black. Hello? Who is it? Imran, the voice calls, shaky but alive. Charles, are you all right? Relief hits me like a punch, tangled with fear. I can breathe, I shout back, my voice cracking. You okay? A faint voice cuts through the darkness. Barely there, but I do catch it. Guys. It's Azif. Guys, are you both alive? Relief hits me like a gut punch again. Thank God, I mutter, forcing back a sob. Azif, it's Charles. You hurt? Yeah, Azif calls back, his voice echoing down the metal throat of the pipe. Pretty sure one arm's busted. Same here, he adds, quieter now. I think both my legs are gone. His words twist into a raw cry of pain, followed by a sting of curses. God, what the hell do we do? Imran's voice comes next, shouting into the pipe. He starts kicking at it, the sound reverberating over my head like a death knell. Hold on, just hold on, yeah? I yell, fists clenched so tight my nails dig into my palms. My brain's overheating, grinding through the facts of the situation. Well, we're alive. We're trapped inside this steel coffin at the bottom of the damn sea. Nobody knows we're here. Once they find what's left of the habitat, they'll think we were blown out into the ocean, dead on impact. Panic claws at me. I try to move, but the pipe holds me like a vice. I lash out, kicking the wall, letting a scream rip free. Hey, Charles, calm down, Azif calls, his voice fraying. Look, it's all right. We're going to make it. Yeah, I mutter, more to myself than him. I force my breathing to slow down. Focus. Right. The pipe splits into two branches when it meets the sea floor. But which way did we get dragged? North towards Azra 1 or south toward Azra 2? Azra 1's about 1.5 clicks north of the habitat. Azra 2 is more than twice that distance south. The pull happened so fast I couldn't tell. We could be hundreds of meters either way. The only reason we're breathing at all is the air pockets trapped in the bends and ridges of the pipe. There might be more ahead, but how big are they? How far apart? When do they stop? Okay, I shout, my voice ricocheting through the metal. I've got an idea, but there's no time to waste. Idea? Asif calls to his brother. Silence. Hey! Asif shouts again. A faint, strained reply finally comes. I'm here, but I'm in bad shape, real bad. That's okay, I yell back, forcing confidence into my voice for their sake, if not my own. We're all getting out of this, all of us, you hear me? I lift my head above the thin film of seawater in the pipe and clear my ears. The pain explodes in my skull. Right, we move, now. My voice bounces off the steel, hard and final. If we stay, we're done. One more shift in pressure and this pipe will flood. Even if it doesn't, the oxygen's not going to last. We'll suffocate. I take a breath. Right, so here's the plan. Crawl. We push forward as far as we can. If we're lucky, we've been dragged north. Astra 1's no more than 1.5 clicks away tops. And that's doable. And if we've been pulled south... Well, Asif cuts me off with a flat. And then... we're screwed. I keep my mouth shut, and a low, bone-deep rumble rolls along the pipe, making the steel tremble against my palms. Shaky, Asif answers. All right, Charles, I'm with you. We crawl, we pray. Asif, I call down the line. A cough, followed by a groan. Charles, I can barely move. I can't. I'll have to stay. Yes, you can, Asif snaps, his voice tight. No, Imran groans again. I'm wrecked. Can't drag myself more than an inch. I'll wait here. You think we're going to leave you? His voice cracks, but Asif speaks over him. Look, go. You know where to find me if you make it out. Just go. The clock's ticking. I hesitate, then I add a long, shuddering sigh. Oh, God save you, brother. Look, we'll be back, I promise. I know, he says, his voice already fading into the dark. God, I mutter, slamming my fist against the pipe hard enough to sting. Asif, you ready? A pause, and then... Yeah, right behind you. Come on, Charles, let's move. And with that, we start crawling. Calling it claustrophobic doesn't cut it at all. This is a coffin with water gnawing at the edges. Every inch is a battle. The thought that beyond this narrow shell lies nothing but tons of crushing ocean doesn't make me braver. No, it just makes my stomach twist. The floor's slick, slimy with oil. No grip. I hunt for the tiniest grooves along the pipe's upper curve, jamming toes or heels into them. My good hand drags me forward. My bad hand is little more than dead weight. The water's cold and mean down here, slicing past my skin. There's no light. None. Not even the kind your eyes adjust to. Just pure, absolute black. Try to keep count of the distance. After 2 or 3 meters, maybe I'm close. After 10, well, I've already lost a thread. Past that, it's impossible. So we just keep crawling. Me and Asif, inch by inch, in the dark, the pipe ringing with the sound of our breathing, each gasp a reminder we're still alive. For now. It's hard to say how long we've been in here. Time's got no meaning in this black, suffocating crawl space. Maybe 20 minutes, maybe more. Before I notice that something's changed. First, it's so subtle I almost miss it. But now there's a brutal, unrelenting pressure on the back of my neck. I'm straining to keep my head as high as I can, my forehead mashed against cold metal. It's only when I have to twist my lips awkwardly to draw in a thin, stale breath that the truth slams into me. The air's almost gone. Panic surges up like a wild animal, but I crush it down. No sudden moves. No, I just inch backward, just enough to claw myself a bit more breathing space. Water churns in my ears, muffling everything. Still, I shout down the pipe. Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes. Yes. His voice bounces back, ragged and coughing. Are you okay? I hesitate, as if we're almost out of air. Silence, and then, sharper. What do you mean? I mean the pocket's dying. We've got minutes, maybe less. Another pause, heavier this time. Maybe there's another one further along. Look, I've seen the schematics. The pipe bends aren't consistent. Could be another pocket ahead. Well, could be, I say. What if there isn't? My chest starts heaving, heart trying to hammer its way out. No space, no light. Every breath feels like a theft. I can't. I choke now. I can't breathe. Get a grip. As if his voice slices through the haze, sharp as steel. It jolts me back from the brink. I look onto his words like a lifeline. Look, we can do this, brother. I nod to myself in the dark. Yeah, all right. Here's the plan. I'm going to push forward as fast as I can, hold my breath, search for another pocket. Whether I found it or not, I will come back for you. You're a brave man, as if calls, voice low but steady. Don't push too far. Good luck. Okay. I breathe, my heart pounding like war drums. I start pulling in slow, deliberate lungfuls of air, stretching my chest until it aches. The sound of my own breathing is eerie in this blackness. Steady, hollow, a bit too loud. Okay, one last inhale. My face is pressed to the oily metallic curve of the pipe. I start to move, silent but for the beat of my heart, vanishing into the dark where I can't hear anything anymore. The water swallows me up to the hips, cold and trembling against my skin. I press my palms hard to the metal, ignoring the fire that shoots up my right wrist. Right, here we go, Charles. One last lungful, packed to the limit, and then I brace against the pipe, driving forward with hands and feet. The moment the air's gone, I'm under. The roar of the water fills my skull, steady and relentless. I claw for distance with whatever I've got, elbows, knees, heels, shoulders, anything to keep me moving. Inch by inch, faster than before, I shove myself deeper into the beast's throat. My heart hammers, loud and heavy, chest shaking with the strain. Oh God, don't panic. No air means no survival. You can drown here, or worse, you just vanish, swallowed forever in the belly of the pipe. Come on, keep moving, inch by inch. My fingers hit a slick patch, coated in oil. I push and slip, and momentum dies in a blink. My body flails in the dark, terror choking harder than the water. No. Urgency flashes through my head like lightning. No. Tiny bubbles slip from beneath my clenched teeth, vanishing into the black. The cold, rusted monster closes in around me. I pray, quick, desperate, to a god I've ignored for years, groping for anything solid. My foot hooks into the faintest of grooves. I drive forward, another push, then another. Still no relief. My lungs are knives now, stabbing me from the inside. If I don't find air soon, I'll have to turn back, past the same slick, treacherous walls. What if I jam myself in? What if I can't make it back in time? Then rage hits me in a wave. How the hell was this allowed to happen? Bubbles spill from my clenched jaw as I force myself forward, faster, deeper, burning what little oxygen I have left. Come on, just a little further. My lungs are screaming at me. Come on, I can do it. I push on again. And then, lightless salvation. My face bursts into a pocket of air. I suck it down in ragged, shuddering breaths, almost laughing, almost crying, as the pipe shifts beneath me, and I'm alive. Well, it's stale, yeah, but right then it's the sweetest damn breath I have ever taken. I slam to a halt, dragging a massive, ragged gulp that burns down my chest and floods my lungs. Ah, thank God, I mutter, again and again, like it's the only thing keeping me tethered. Once the hammering in my chest eases, I suck in another breath and holler down the pipe. Well, no way in hell he can hear me, but I try. Silence. So I rap a sharp rhythm on the metal. Still nothing. Oh, the quiet eats at me, and finally I know I have to turn back. God, I hate it, every inch of it, but I've got proof now. It can be done. There's air waiting on the other side. I pull one last gulp deep into my lungs and shove myself back through, feet first, toward Asif. My suit scrapes against the slick, oil-stained section of the pipe, but the fabric helps me slide through. Burst back into the former pocket, hacking and coughing up what feels like half the ocean. Oh, good Lord, Asif gasps. Charles, you took your time. I thought it... It's all right. I cut him off then. We can make it. There's another pocket ahead. I lay out for him quick. The distance, what he needs to do, and then we're at it again for what I pray is the last damn time. We shove ourselves forward into the choking dark, the promise of that next air pocket dragging us on. Inch by inch, my muscles screaming, my prayers running silent in my head, begging Asif to keep pace. And then, light in the form of breath, my face breaks through into the pocket. I keep moving, giving him space. Seconds crawl past, my nerves starting to fray when I hear it. Wet, gasping cough, the sound of a man tearing the air into his lungs like it's treasure. Yes, I yell, smashing my good hand on the pipe. We did it, brother. Yes, he chokes out, before letting out something like a laugh. A raw, ragged thing that somehow fills me with hope. Come on, I shout. Let's keep moving. So we drag ourselves forward, inch by brutal inch. Time has lost all meaning. The water is endless. My joints are on fire, my muscles locked and screaming. But there's no stopping. There's nowhere else to go. Part 3. The air pocket dies out, just like before. I push ahead, no choice, because there's no way in hell Asif could slip past me. Oh, my lungs scream as I hold my breath for another brutal stretch. But then, mercifully, I break into another pocket of air. We keep moving. The pockets are shrinking, getting shorter and shorter the deeper we go, a fact that gnaws at the back of my mind. Still, there's just enough to keep us alive, so the crawl continues. Every breath hold is a savage test of will and grit. But I push through. I have to. We have to. We've got to get out. The grind finally stalls when we hit another pocket, barely 3 or 4 meters long. While my bad shoulder slams into something hard and icy, making me flinch. It shifts slightly under the pressure. Not a blockage. What? Could it be? My heart lurches. Twisting and squirming in the cramped pipe, I force my good arm up toward my head. It's slow, agonizing work, but my fingers eventually reach my neck and then push forward to probe whatever we've hit. Cold metal. It's a shape I know by touch. And then, against all odds, a grin cracks across my face. Asif, I bark, my voice ragged. I found a tank. Yeah, I think it's all here, full setup. A tank, he fires back. What do you mean? An oxygen tank, man. Oh, intact. Breathing tube and all. Oh, that's fantastic. How many? My pulse stumbles. I edge forward, groping in the dark, desperate for another set of gear. But the void gives me nothing. Just one. Only one. There's only this one, I tell him, my voice low. It may be more up ahead. This is all I've got for now. This is a game changer. We can make it, he says. Whose is it? Could be mine. I had maybe half a tank left. Same with me, he replies. What about Imran's? He asks after a pause. I hesitate. I think his was running on fumes. Oh, I suck in a deep breath. Oh, all right. It still buys us time. I'll use it now and I'll see if there's another set further on. Wish me luck. Yeah, good luck, man, Azif mutters, voice low and tight. Godspeed, I fire back, checking the tank one last time. I clamp the mouthpiece between my lips, pull in a few deep test breaths, and then sink under again. This time I've got the tank with me. It's my only edge. I grunt as I twist and contort my way into the pipe, dragging myself forward inch by inch. My shoulders scrape metal, my legs jam, and then I hit what turns out to be the last pocket of air I'll find. A pathetic, meter-long gap. Barely enough for one man to crouch, let alone two. Oh, and, no second tank. Not even a trace. I curse under my breath and shove deeper, hauling the tank with me, the hose tugging at my mouth as I go. My hand brushes something. My second missing flipper, of all damn things, but still no spare tank. And no more air pockets. Just endless, cold confinement. Oh, I clench my fist. Well, the choice is made for me. I've got to turn back before Azif starts thinking I'm not coming. The crawl back feels endless, every second drawn out until it's a dull eternity in my lungs. Finally, I spill out into our shared space and tell him what I found. Nothing. He listens in silence, and when I finish, his voice is quiet, almost resigned. Charles, this is it for me. No point in me going any further. I think I'll just wait here. I start to argue, but the words collapse before they even leave my throat. What's the point? He's right. Brutally right. The next leg's mine alone. A knot rises in my chest. I shove it down. This is not the time, not the place. Still, the thought stabs at me. This could be the last time I hear him speak. The last time I hear either of them. I force my mouth to move, searching for something worth saying, but he cuts in first. Hey, I'll see you soon, buddy, he says into the dark. I pause, my reply catching in my throat, but I manage. Yeah, for sure, man. I'll see you soon, buddy. And then I'm gone. I drag myself deeper along the pipe, elbows grinding, knees scraping, body twisting through the narrow gut of metal. The water swallows me whole now. My breath rasps loud inside the tube clamped between my teeth, each inhale a reminder of how close I am to the edge. I hit the last air pocket and steal a single moment, one breath, to steady my nerves. Then I leave it behind. From here on, it's all underwater. No light, no clue how much air's left in the tank. Well, if it's an A-mod, I've got hours, plenty of time. If it isn't, then my clock's already running down. Down here, a mere means I'm dead unless luck throws me another miracle air pocket. It's possible, I tell myself. Not likely, but possible. I claw my way forward through the pipe, the water thick, oily, and bitter on my tongue. The hours bleed together. No more air pockets, just more pipe. More choking dark pressing against me from every side. I have no idea how far I've crawled. North means hope. South means I've been wasting every ounce of breath for nothing. I'll never see Azra 2, but Azra 1... If it's Azra 1, I still have a chance. So I push on, through the poisonous water, through the black. My elbows are raw meat from the friction, my shoulders stripped bloody, feet blistering where they grind against the steel for leverage. My neck screams every time I turn my head too far. The pain doesn't matter, though. I grit my teeth and keep moving. It's too late to turn back. God, give me strength. I growl under my breath as my muscles seize and burn. Thinking of them both. Thinking of Imran, thinking of Asif. Thinking of how they're alone, like me, keeps me going. I won't quit. No, I will not let them down. Not now, not ever. So I crawl on, and on, and on. Endless black, endless gnawing torture. Oh, the pipe feels like it's swallowing me whole. Except, it's not endless. Not tonight. Luck, or something like it, finally throws me a bone. The good news? My oxygen tank sure as hell isn't Imran's. If it was, I'd be a corpse by now. But the bad news, every breath is taking more work. I'm gulping deeper and deeper just to keep my lungs from screaming. I can feel the end coming. This tank won't hold out forever. Well, no spare tanks along the way, just the one strapped to me. And when it's empty, that's the game over. Oh, come on, you bastard, I hiss into the mouthpiece. You can't stretch on forever, you can't. And then, proof. My head slams into something solid. Oh, what the? I mumble, dazed. I shove forward, but the way's blocked tight. For a second, my stomach drops. Dead end. The nightmare ending, all this way for nothing. But then I notice it. A space above me. I twist, squirm, force my body into a new angle, and for the first time in hours, I'm sitting upright. My spine pops like gunfire, relief flooding through me so hard I almost groan. My hands sweep the darkness, metal walls, cold and slick, and then I realize the pipe doesn't keep going forward. It's going up, straight up towards the surface. I choke out something between a laugh and a sob. North. We've been going north this whole time. And north means Asra 1. It means salvation. Hope tears through me like molten light, burning away the cold. The end of the pipe is a ladder now, climbing to the world above. But my breath hitches. I've got a choice to make. This is the last stretch, no second chances. If I go up and it's blocked, plugged, sealed, well, I die here, simple as that. Life or death, 50-50, and the clock's bleeding out with every inhale. If it's blocked, that is it, end of the line. Every scrap of hope drowned here with me, no way forward, no way back. I shake my head hard. There's no choice, not really. It's all willpower now. I don't have the air to make it back to as if, even if I wanted to. The only way is forward and up. All right then, I mutter, bubbles spilling from my lips. Here we go. I start the climb slowly, deliberately. My spine grinds against the pipe behind me, my knees and calves braced on the slick metal in front. I kick, drag, half swim, half shimmy my way upward. Up the pipe. Up to the surface. Every motion is a grimace. My muscles burn, my joints ache, my breath rattles loud in my own skull, and still, there's darkness, endless, crushing black. If it's open above me, shouldn't I see something? Just a pinprick. I force my eyes open in the water. Salt and oil bite into them like acid, but I need to know. Nothing. Not a glimmer, not a thread of light. Oh, come on, don't lose it, I tell myself, clamping my eyes shut again. Oh, just keep moving. This isn't like the pipe we were sucked down before. This one climbs straight to the surface, to the noise and chaos of Asra 1. Or what should be noise and chaos. But it won't be bustling now. I pause, taking a long, ragged breath through the mouthpiece. My chest heaves with the strain, my mind chews at the thought. What if the place is empty? What if it's the wrong time? I mean, I've been in this metal throat for hours, maybe more. Exhaustion and hunger gnaw at me, and the tank's almost dry now. Hey, and wasn't tomorrow the day the site shut down? Or was it the next day? My memory blurs. What if they're all gone? What if there's no one there to hear me? What if the pipe's sealed? What if? The words rip out of me in a raw, muffled bellow. Then I grit my teeth and just keep on climbing. Every breath is a battle now. My body feels heavy, leaden. But there's no way to go but up. 80 meters maybe even less. God, if it's open, I should see it, shouldn't I? Light, please, I whisper, eyes flicking open again, squinting through the black, terrified that the next reach will slam me into cold, immovable metal. The full stop, the bitter end. Any second now, I could slam into solid metal. One heartbeat, I'm climbing, the next, I'm sealed in for good. And then, a sudden splash. My head bursts through the surface. Air. I rip the mouthpiece away and drag in a savage gulp, my lungs swelling like they're about to tear. I rub oily water from my face, blink the sting from my eyes. Well, still pitch black, but I've reached the top. I made it. I rasp into the void. My voice ricochets in the cramped, echoing space. No one to hear it but me. Now comes the last hurdle. Maybe the final one. God, how cruel would that be? To make it all this way, only to choke on hope right at the finish line. I twist around, shove my good arm upward, fingers searching through the wet dark. Water drips off my elbow and then... contact. The lid. Bolted. Screwed down tight. My heart starts hammering like it's trying to punch through my ribs. Oh, come on. I grope along the edge, hunting for a latch, a switch, anything. But I already know the truth. Nothing. No release from the inside. I bring up my bad arm anyway, forcing it into motion, trying to wrench the lid, to spin it, to budge it. It doesn't move, not an inch. And why would it? Their shift's over, they're gone, back across the water to the shore. I'm stuck. After everything, I'm just as trapped as Asif, just as doomed as Imran. The panic rips through me then. I start slamming my fist against the metal, pounding until my bones ache. My screams tear loose from my throat, echoing in this suffocating dark. Outside it'll be nothing but dull, muffled groans, maybe even mistaken for the pipe's own mechanical rumble. Help! I bellow, slamming both fists into the center with the last dregs of my strength, ignoring the sharp knives of pain ripping through my shattered wrist. Panic is clawing up my throat, threatening to swallow me whole here at the bitter end. Help! I roar again, pounding the lid, kicking at the pipe, raising hell with every ounce I've got left before my body gives out. Anyone! My voice echoes in the dark. And then it happens. A sudden violent grinding erupts overhead. The lid groans, shifts. A crack of light slices down, blinding me. I choke on my own gasp, stunned, my lungs burning as I stumble back into the filthy water with a splash. My eyes clamp shut against the blaze, an orange-red glow that scorches the world beyond my lids. I don't dare believe it's real. Somebody shouting, voices tangled in confusion. Hand seized my diving suit by the shoulders, gripping hard, dragging me up with brute force until I'm sprawled on the platform, wringing the pipe's mouth. I'm shaking, weeping before I know even where I am. The tears cut through the salt and oil caked on my skin. I've never felt air taste this good. I twist around, stretching arms and legs that have been locked in agony for what feels like centuries. A hand grips my shoulder, firm, steady, and cool. Blessedly clean water runs over my face. Charles. A voice I know, familiar, sharp with shock. Charles, what the hell? He falters, struggling for words. Care to explain yourself? Go on, Charles, what the hell is this? I force my eyes open, just a crack, blinking through the stabbing burn until the flood lamp stops searing holes in my vision. Shapes, sharpen, and then I see him. The lone worker still on duty long after everyone else had cleared out. His mop of red hair is a tangled mess, beard unkempt, eyes wide with disbelief. The expression is so absurd I almost laugh. A dry, broken chuckle slips out anyway. "Hello, Zahir," I rasp. Swear to God I've never been happier to see a human being in my life. And that's no exaggeration. Well, the next hours blur into chaos. Calls fired off to the company, then the authorities. Helicopters roar overhead. Rescue boats cut across the waves within the hour. Down below, the ruined habitat site is locked down. Diver teams drop into the deep, working the pipe inch by inch into the night, knocking, tapping, praying for any echo of life. But nothing answers back. I remember pacing the control room like a caged animal, my bandaged arm throbbing, officers watching, families calling, the air thick with static and dread. Pressure in the pipe is bled out carefully, section by section, till they finally sever it at the safest point and pry it open. Morning comes, heavy and pale, and I'm still awake when they give me the news. I drop into the nearest chair, the breath gone from me. "No," I whisper. "No, that's impossible." But it isn't. They found them, Asif and Imran, together, barely 10 meters north of where the current had dragged us under, dead almost instantly, the impact breaking them before they had time to understand what had hit them. The experts say their last conscious moments were likely inside the habitat, before the world came apart. I don't reply. I just turn toward the window, watching the first sunlight glint off the rolling waves. Bright, cold, and merciless. Oh well, stories like that always really intrigue me. Very interesting setting, but it's the fact that the power of the human mind was the main character in the story rather than anything truly mystical or supernatural or anything like that. Makes you think, doesn't it? Well, makes me think. So, thoughts, feelings, anything else you want to say about that story in the comment section below, and I will do my best to join in the conversation again. Thanks for listening. What day is it? Wednesday? Yeah, it is. All right, I'll be back again with the podcast tomorrow. Right, back again here on Friday with something else. Hopefully as good as what we got tonight. Really did love that one. Well, till next time, my dear friends, you'll sleep well, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this story today. Really means a lot to me and to the author of the story, of course. Well, if you want to know more about me, I'm pretty much everywhere on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can download my music on SoundCloud. I've got a Patreon if you feel like. Throw me $1 or $2. Very much appreciated. And of course, on Reddit, I have a place where you can leave stories if you want me to read one that you've written. Well, hoping to see you all again very soon. Till then, sweet dreams. Bye-bye.